Okay, fine. We will start the session. Okay, so in the previous lab session, we already in the previous lab session we already covered the class as well as the access specifier program. In today's lab session, we go for the further OOP concepts. I will code from my side also, and you also do it by your own self. Okay, so the basics I will tell you regarding how to create. You have to create a class, and then after we move ahead. So, have you logged in through your laptop, Komal? Okay, fine. So, just your XAMPP is in working mode or not? Can you acknowledge me? Okay, fine. So now just go to create or any one folder in your htdocs file, and we just demonstrate how to create a class. Then we quickly move to towards how to create a constructor and all other concepts. Okay, is it fine? Okay, Riddhi is also there. Riddhi, have you logged in through your laptop? Are you there, Riddhi? Okay, fine. So just do it with me, and I will give you time. First understand everything. I will present my screen and we start coding for it. Just a second. Okay. So in the previous lab session, we already discovered that how to create a class. I just give you quickly demonstration of it so that Komal have an idea regarding that. Okay, so every PHP file, it start from the shorthand operator like question mark PHP then ending. In that tag, you have to create a class. So why we are creating the class? Just is provide to as a blueprint to other developer also, or it is used for the data encapsulation, like we are hiding our data in the form of unit that is called the class. So for that you have to use class keyword, and after you have to give name of your class. So here I'm using this tc1 as a class, and then after in parenthesis you have to write it down everything, right? So this is the structure of your class. Now, your class includes either properties or it is includes either methods. Okay. So now what does it mean by properties? So have you learned already these things in your lecture? So have you any idea regarding what do you mean by properties? Okay, be interactive. If you have idea, then just tell me yes. If you don't have idea, then just tell me no so that I can move further. Riddhi and Komal, are you there? Can you acknowledge me? You have any idea regarding properties? Okay, fine. Properties means in your Java, you say that a data member or data variable. Okay. So whatever the variable you are creating in your class, that is called the properties. Okay. How you create a variable? So for that, you have to first go for the access specifier like public, private, or protected. If you are using public, so it is used throughout this file also, and everywhere it is accessible. If you are using private keyword, then it is accessible only for this class. If you are using protected, then this class also. And if you are using inheritance concept that we will cover in this lab session also, so in that case also you can use those protected variable. So that is the scope of this three access specifier. So first declare the access specifier. Then after it, in PHP, variable declaration is all about the dollar sign. It always starts from the dollar sign, right? So here dollar, then after I'm just giving any name. Okay. So this is called the property declaration. So like in Java, we say that variable. In PHP, terminology is different. That is called the properties. Okay, am I clear to you both? Okay, fine. So next, how you can create a methods. So for that, you have to first use the access specifier like public, private, or protected. Then after you have to use this word function. Okay, whenever you have to create a function in PHP, we can say that a methods. Okay, so function and method is same, but as the languages differ, the terminology is different. Okay, so public function, and you can give any name like print underscore values. And then after, if you want to pass any argument, then you can pass it. Otherwise, it is fine. And then after in curly bracket, you can write it down the code here. Whatever you want to write it down, that you have to write it here. So that is called the function creation, or we can say method creation. Now we quickly go through the how you can create object of your class. So for that, outside of your class, don't make mistake here. You have to just go to outside of your class, and then after you have to define any variable like obj is equals to new and the class name. So the class name here is TC1. So either you can use the parenthesis or you can omit it. That is up to you. Okay. So that is all about the object creation. This way you can create the object. And then after, if you want to access this property like name, okay, so how you can use it? Like in Java, we use the a dot the property, right? But here we are using arrow operator. Here we are using arrow operator. Okay, so like object name, then after arrow, and then after the name of your property. Okay, so this way you can access the property. Okay, now how you can call the function, because you are outside, so you have to call the functions. So using object, you can call the function. So same as it is obj, the object name, then after arrow, and at last your function name. If you are providing arguments, then you have to just pass it here. Otherwise, it is fine. So this is called calling the function. Okay, so these way entire basic structure of your class, your properties, your methods, and your object creation looks like. Okay, if you want to just take a screenshot of it, you can take it, because this lab we already discussed these things in the previous lab session. So it is for your reference. You can just take a screenshot of it, how to create it, so that you have idea. Riddhi, is it your first lab or you already present in the previous lab session? Can you acknowledge me, Riddhi? Okay, okay, fine. Then you have idea how to create the class as well as the functions. Good, fine. Okay, so now in today's lab session, we go for the constructor, right? You already learned this concept in your lecture. Just tell me, what do you mean by constructor? I just remove these things so that we can create another program. Now just tell me, what do you mean by constructor? You have any idea regarding constructor? Why we create constructor? Okay, fine. So whenever you are creating an object, at that time it is automatically called. So in the previous, like here, we created any method, and then after we are calling it. But sometimes what happen, we have to initialize the values, like name property is there, but we didn't give the value of it. So whenever we have to initialize any data members or property, at that time we are using constructor, or we can say the method is also there. But If we are using method, then you have to call it here, like you have to write the statement of calling it. But if you are creating a constructor, then no need for calling it. Whenever the object is created here, automatically your constructor is called. Are you getting my point? What is the why we are creating the constructor? Already methods are there, but we have to explicitly call it. But we don't want to go for it. Then what is the alternative for it? So that is the constructor. So whenever any object is created, automatically is called. That is called the constructor. Okay, now just we can see how we can create the constructor. Okay, so for that, first write the class name like TC1. Then after, just take any property, like here I'm taking the three variables, or we can say three property. Here I want to just decorate my text. Like in the previous lab session, we generally only go for the displaying part. But here I want to use the some of the tags also, some of the styling related thing I want to do it. So the property name is like that, like public dollar text size. So I want to give the size also. That's why I create the property this text underscore size. Another property is public text underscore color. And another is actual value of my text. So that is the text underscore value. Okay. Are you getting my point till now? Any doubts? Here I just create a class and create three properties. Till now, any doubts? Okay, what about Riddhi? Okay, fine. Now I just want to create a constructor. So whenever object is created, at that time it is automatically called. That is the main function of constructor. So how we can create a constructor? So for that you have to write it down the function, because at the end constructor is a function. That's why we are using the function keyword. Now there are two ways. Either you can use underscore again underscore, that is called the double underscore, right? Then write it down the construct keyword, okay, and then after you can go for it. So that is the first way. Or either you can use the class name like TC1. No need for any underscore, right? So there are basically two ways, and again here writing down so that you have an idea regarding that, like function underscore, that is one underscore, again underscore, so that is means two double underscore, construct, and then after the parenthesis and code. So this is your first approach or first way to go for the constructor, and this is your second way, like using the class name. Either you can use the construct keyword or you can use the class name. So TC1 is the class name, right? Okay, fine. So why we are creating the constructor? For the initialization purpose, right? So here I want to pass this three argument so that I can initialize it. So just I'm passing it first size, then after color, and then after value. Okay, so I'm passing it here. So whenever object is created and users are giving the values to them, okay, so that is passed here, here, and here. Now these variables are called the local variables, right? As we discussed in the previous lab session, that in that we create a method, so that is called the local variable. And these all are the class variable, or we can say that properties. So names are same. As you can see, the names are same. So how you can differ it? How you can differ it? This we already discussed in the previous lab session. How you can differ it? Because names are same. This and this same name. So how we can differentiate the class variable or the class property with the local variable? Anybody have any idea regarding that? Okay, so for that, we have to use this keyword. Are you getting my point? Whenever the same names are there and you want to differentiate those names, so at that time you have to go for it, these keyword. Am I clear to you? Yes or no? Okay. So using these, whenever I use these keyword, it means I am referring this property. That is the class variables or class property. And I am only writing these or only the text underscore size or text underscore color. That means the local variable. Okay. So I'm assigning those value, these underscore, it means arrow, then after text underscore size is equals to text underscore size. Okay, what does it mean? So whenever user call it, so at that time either user give the size 20 px. So that 20 px here assigned to our class or global property that is here. So that's why I'm using these keyword. So these always refer to the current object or current values. So are you getting my point? Here this text size is here like a user value and that is assigned to our class value. Okay. Same as it is, or make sure Komal you were absent in the previous lab session. So make sure keep in mind these things. Whenever you are using arrow at that time, don't enter or put the dollar sign, otherwise you will get error. Why? Because these arrow text underscore size interpret as a one variable. So if you are putting here dollar, so it means you are using two different variable and you are assigning something arrow related to them, and that is not a syntax of any PHP. Okay, so it always give you undefined variable error. So make sure after the arrow you don't put any dollar sign. Okay, so these way just we assign the all the three variables to color is also assigned and text. Okay, sorry, these text value is remaining. Fine. Okay, so that is called the constructor and you initialize every property in that constructor. Okay, so I just want to print this property. So how I can print this property? So for that I am using or I am just writing down the function for it. So like function. So whenever you normally declare the function, so first give the access specifier like public function and print underscore value. That is your name of your function. Okay. And whenever you are going for printing part, so there is no parenthesis or no parameters are there. So just we here put it as a blank. Okay. So echo, what I just want to do, I just want to use this property to style my paragraph. So here I am using p tag. Okay. So just here I am writing down in normal way what we can do. So p is equals to like p in p tag we are providing style tag and in that we are going for the font size. That is always a property used in CSS whenever you want to give size. Okay, so either it is 20 px, right? Next semicolon, we want to go for the color. So either it is a red color. Okay. And at last the text. Here we are going for the text, right? And then after slash p. So this is the HTML file or HTML tag that we used in our file. So are you getting my point here till now? What I do here, I want to add something new. That's why I'm just creating first the standard tag style. Are you getting my point till now? Okay. Now what happened? This 20 px is not fixed. That is always given by our customer or our user, right? So what I can write it down here, 20 instead of 20 pics, that is your text underscore size. Am I go Are you getting my point or not? Like 20 px is a static that I am giving to this program, but that is vary from customer to or user to user, right? So what I do, I just instead of 20 px I use the dollar text underscore size. But here make sure you use these keywords so that it refer to perfectly the variable. Okay. But what happen, you cannot write it down, it will not evaluate the things because you write it down everything in the inverted comma. So what you have to do, you just here close or end up the inverted comma, and for the concatenation we already discussed that we use the dot keyword. Okay, so now after this also, for this is a string like color, and this is string because red is again a text color, so you have to change it. So again, after inverted comma is there, so just put a dot keyword. Okay, dot is used always for the concatenation. Then after color, instead of red, here also put dot, so dot is always used for concatenation. These, and then text underscore color. Okay, again semicolon and closing angular bracket is all about the string. So first go for the dot operator and then this. Now again dot operator. See, this text is stored here, like in text value we are storing the text. So these text underscore value. After that again put dot, and then after inverted comma, and this way your entire string will look like this. Are you getting my point? What we do, we just take a input from the customer, and whenever the strings are there we put as a double inverted comma, and to concatenate to do both the string we are using dot operator. Again color is our css style. Again here this text value is our value of our or value of our text, so that's why we are not putting it into the double inverted comma, otherwise it will not interpret it. Are you getting my point? Is there any doubts in this sentence? Like it may be confused at some point, but if you divide it this sentence it becomes easy for you to understand. Is there any doubt? You can ask me. Like any of the thing is not understood in this sentence, you can ask me. Clear? Okay. What about Komal? Okay, after text color. Okay, here. So as p tag is started, we have to end that tag, right? Generally, what we write like this way. We always write this way, like text and then after slash p. That is our HTML things, right? So we already started these things, but we didn't ended that string, right? So this tag is still remaining. So that's why we have to put in inverted comma. And generally what happen after the property is completed, we put the semicolon. That's why here I put the semicolon. So now it is clear. Okay, fine. So now we have to create a object. We already go for the construction or constructor, then after method is already there. Now we go for the object creation. So how we can go for the object obj, then new, and then tc1. That is our class name, or we can say constructor name. But don't put it as a blank, because constructor has how many arguments? Three arguments. Okay, so we have to pass this three arguments. Okay, so first is size. So we are providing here 20 px size. Okay, then second parameter here is a color. So I am providing here red color. And third is my text value. So here I'm just writing down the AWT. Okay, that is my text. Okay, so these way the values are initialized and that is interpreted here. But We didn't call this function, so that if we call this function, then and then this entire thing is printed, otherwise it is not printed. So we go for the calling of the function using object, so that is like, looks like this. Okay, are you getting my point? First is object creation, and then after calling of their method. Now we go for the running of this program. Okay, my file name is there. I already traversed to that my folder using localhost. Make sure this path should be look like this, localhost, and after that all these things. Okay, so make sure you do these things and then after run it. So as I go into that part, I can see these things, but the color is not there. Okay, just a second. Just check it out. The things. Okay, this text color we already provide. Okay, if I am just increasing the size 30, is changing or not? Yes, it is changing. So for this color, then after we already give these things. Okay, just a second. I just provide any other color. Okay, then after this value. So just a second. If I'm providing here red, and then after this, so that we can verify it. Is it not assigning the values? Okay. Now there is a mistake in some this part. Okay. So whenever you are going for this, just a second. Okay. The red is display very well. Fine. Because here we are writing down the red. But what happened? I just want this things. I just omit these things. Here I'm writing down the blue. So which color is there? Okay, so they are taking this color. So it means in the text color, there is something assignment related problem is there. Okay, so just check it out that thing. Okay, fine, it is working well. Okay, dot related issues are there. So make sure whenever you write it down, after inverted comma, this is one string, this is the another string. So as you change it here, like a red color or any other color, it will change it according to that. Okay, as you can see here, as you go for the size of it, it will like display and change the size also. Okay, so this way you have to go for it. So just first write it down the code and just run it, and if you have any issue you can just tell me. Is it understood by you both, constructor and calling the things? Are you done with this or you need time to write it down? Yes, yes, go ahead, Komal, no problem. You can use some Sublime also for this lab session. And if you are used to for it, then you can go for it. That is not necessary for the editor. As you're done with this program and output, just tell me. And if you get any error, then also just acknowledge me here. You can present your screen also. And individual concept, you just make sure you clear it on that, because you have to create a small application which include this. Like in one file you create tc1 class, in second file you create tc2 class, in third file you create a tc3 class, and just use the inheritance concept, just include the files also. So these way you can create a small application. So start just going for it also, which kind of application you just do it, which include all the concept of OOP. In this lab session, we also covered the inheritance as well as interface, so that you have an idea regarding that. Done, Riddhi, Komal? Okay, Komal. Make sure you clear with this line, because this is helpful in every program. So first understand that line. Another thing that I want to tell you, that if you don't want to call this function, like this is always for printing, and if you need this function every time, then what you can do, you just call it in your constructor. So whenever the initialization is done, then after they will directly call it, and there is no necessity for it. Like if you are commented here, and you just directly call this function from here like this, and then after the name of your function. So what happened, whenever tc1 constructor is called, so they all assign these values to the properties, and then after they directly go to the calling of this function. So there is no need for calling it explicitly. So these way also you can do it. You can see or check it out, the output is same. Okay, so that is the another approach. That is up to you, and according to your requirement you can go for it. Either you can explicitly call it, or either you can go for it as in constructor. Okay, done. Komal and Riddhi, done. Okay, Riddhi. So first we start the P tag, right? Then after we always use this. Okay, so here I'm just writing down the like P, then style is equals to what we do, that font size colon 20 px, then semicolon, then color, then semicolon means colon, then after we give the red, and at last we just close that P tag. Here we write the text and slash P. Okay, so these way we write in our CSS. Now what happened? Like 20 px red and text that we have to take from our users, right? So what I do, just this part is fixed. Okay, whatever the part is fixed, you just put it down in the double inverted comma. It is interpreted as a string. Now this 20 px is, you have to just take it from the users. So how I can take it from the user? So using this text underscore size property. So I write it down here, text underscore size property. But there is one string, this is another string. So how I can just concatenate using dot operator. So that's why I use the dot operator. So till now the 20, this part is completed. Now the color part. So semicolon is still remaining because 20 px, then after semicolon is there. So again, this part like semicolon and color, that is the property, and it is a fixed part and it is a string. So we are putting in the inverted comma. But here also string, here also string. So I put the I put the dot operator that to for the concatenation. Then after red, so red is always come from the user. So which property is associated with that? So that is the text underscore color. So here I write it down these, then text underscore color. But how can I just concate this two string? Using dot operator. Okay, then after, for this it is completed, but now like this right and angular bracket is still remaining. So I just put it into the double inverted comma. Then after text, so text is stored in the text value. So for that again I use for concatenation dot operator, then take this text underscore value, and at last this ending p tag. So that is the also a string. Okay, so this way I can go for it. Are you clear, Riddhi? Or if you are not getting color, you can present your screen also. Okay. Now also you are not getting it. So if you feasible, then you can present your screen. What about Komal? Okay, another student, Mojil is there. Mojil, are you doing in your laptop or you don't have a laptop? Okay, can we move ahead? Okay, Mojil, you write it down these things in your notebook. We are going for the constructor program, already done with it. And now we go for the destructor. So just write it down in the notebook. In same process. Okay, XAMPP is not working again. Okay, just try it out to resolve it. And make sure whatever the XAMPP related issue is that you just permanently solve it. Okay, fine, Komal. Okay, now we go for the destructor part, how we can create a destructor. So destructor is always used when you have to clean up the memory and whenever the object is are not referenced for longer time. So you want to delete it automatically. So in that aspects, you can create a destructor, right? So in destructor, mostly the cleanup code is there, but here just for the demonstration, we write the some text so that we have idea like destructor is working or not. So how we can create a destructor? So for that, you just use this a keyword that is a function. Now it is easy for you to understand it. Okay, so first use the function keyword, then after underscore one, and then after second underscore. So two underscore, then after use destruct. Okay, and then parenthesis, and in curly brackets you have to write it down the cleanup code. Okay, so here we don't write it down the cleanup code, but just write it down the echo part so that we have idea this is working well. So I always put the br, then after destroying. Okay, I just want to just print this value of this text, so I'm using this and text underscore value. Okay, so destructor is always called automatically when everything is done, whenever your value is initialized, whenever your function is called, and after that destructor is called. So always at last this destructor is automatically called for the cleanup process, and whatever the unnecessary space are there, we can remove it so that it is allocated to some new properties also. Okay, so now just I'm again going for it. Okay, so you can see that first it print AWT and perfectly work, and then after destroying AWT, that kind of message we can display. Okay, so that is all about the destructor. Okay, fine. Are you getting my point? Everybody, why destructor is useful and how we can create it using destruct function. Or use, keep in mind this thing, here you just write it down, double underscore. So just write it down these things, and if you are writing in your notebook, you can just every after every function at least put some space so that you don't have to modify everything. Okay, as you're done with that, just acknowledge me. Understand every code properly, which keywords are used for which different concepts, that you have to remember it. And then after, the syntax is normal function syntax, so it is very easy for you to understand and to remember it. Okay, so make sure when I code or when I start for coding, whatever the steps I follow, make sure you also follow that step in your small application. Okay, like first create a class, then after go for the properties. So first decide like which kind of application you want. So if you want the employee or faculty related things, so variables names are different, like name, age, and ID. That kind of property name should be there. After deciding it, you just go for the constructor, so that concept is also included. Also used for the construct destructor, that concept is also used for that. Method, so you create a method for displaying it, that concept is used. Now go for the inheritance. So these way you just create a small application for it. I'm not saying that only one file you just create everything, you can create multiple files for that and include it in one file. How to include it, I will just go for it. Okay, I will give you one example which kind of application you have to make. So for example, one file is there, you create one index file. In that file, you are including three other files. Okay. So index file is like your home page where you can just go for the heading part. And then after, as you run that file only, all the three file is attached to that. And according to that, output is there. Now, which is three file? So we are using inheritance concept, right? So for that, we have to just define some of the class for it. Like if we are taking the one class, that is a person. So from the person, faculty as well as student are inherited. So parent class is person class, so that is another file. Another file is student, that is also class, and another file is for faculty, right? And each and every file you can use the concept like constructor, destructor. If you are creating interface, like in person class, for example, in person class, that is your base class, you are creating interface. So whenever you create interface, you have to implement those method whenever you are implementing it. So in another file, you just implement those methods also. I will give one demonstration after we go for the individual things so that you have an idea regarding that. Okay. So first we focus on individual concept. Then after I will demonstrate my application regarding this, and you can go for your application. Okay. So like names and everything will be changed, otherwise concept is same. Like inheritance is all in all the application is same, like it inherit from the base class and all the properties is included there. Okay. So after we complete individual concept, I will demonstrate maybe in the next lab session. We complete everything regarding your chapter 1. In next lab session, I give you one demonstration, and then after you have to start for it, and I will give 1 week for it. So it is like at least start thinking about it, which kind of application you want to build, like either person, then student and employee. Then after, if we are going for a fruit class, then apple, orange. So you can give some kind of names to it. I'm not saying that in methods you go for very long code, and that I don't want that, but at least basic functionality should be there in your application. We will demonstrate that thing also. Okay. So this part is covered, destructor. Done with this destructor and this file. Everybody acknowledge me. Okay, what about Mojil and Komal? Okay, Mojil, done with this. Are you there, Mojil? Okay, fine. Now just save this file. Save as this file as an inheritance, because some of the things we used same as it is, so that we don't have to write it down everything from sketch. So I just save it as a inheritance. I remove the some of the things here. Okay. So one class is already created, right? What do you mean by inheritance? First tell me, what do you mean by inheritance? What do you mean by inheritance? Okay, deriving object of the base class to derived class. Okay, very good. Why we are using inheritance? Okay, inheritance is always used. So, okay, Komal is saying, so to inherit base class property also in derived class. Okay, so we can say that a code reusability concept is there. Whatever written in the base class, we don't have to just again write it. We just include that thing and use it. So that is all about the inheritance. So inheritance is like deriving all the properties of your base class, as well as you can add your own properties also. Okay. Some of the behaviors that is come from your father and mother, but some of your own. So that is your derived class, like base class property, they can use it, as well as they have their own properties also. So here we already create one class, that is the class TC1. Okay. Here I'm creating some another class like class, then after batch. and that is always inherit from the TC1. So how I can use it? So using extends keyword. Make sure you just remember this keyword. Using extends keyword, you can inherit from the base class. Okay, so I'm just writing down the TC1, that is my base class, and after that I am writing everything. Okay, so this is my base class. Now my batch class is my derived class. Okay, so I'm just writing down here, that is your derived class, and that is derived from the TC1 class. Okay, so in batch class, whatever the property written in this, because it is public, so I can use it in this class also. If you are writing down the protected, then also I can access it here. But if you are writing as a private, I cannot access it. So make sure you either go for the public or protected access specifier. Okay. So now whatever things that is available here in your base class, you can use it here also. So text size, text color, text value, you can access it here. Okay, so here I'm not doing more things, but I'm just creating one function. Just a second, just hiding the things so that you have more idea. Okay, I'm just creating the function, public function, then just name of it, like I'm just changing the name of it. Okay, and then after, the same thing I copy from here, but I want to add one style more. Okay, like here I just copy everything from here, but I just want to add after color, I just want to give the text decoration. So text decoration property always give the underline, overline, that kind of thing. So that is my own feature that is added to here. Are you getting my point? The all the properties are inherited from the base class, so that's why I'm using it without any other things. And other thing that I add from my side, that is the text decoration underline. So that is my own feature, that is the derived class feature. So that is all about the small derived class. So now how can I access it? So using the other object that I create, object one, that object I will create of batch class. In that batch class, I'm just providing the values like 40px, then after blue, then after OOP. Okay. Now just tell me here, whenever I write it down batch and then after pass the parameter, so that is called the constructor calling, right? But here I am not defining any constructor. So is it valid or not? Can anybody tell me? So whenever, as we discussed, that whenever after class name, whatever the things we are passing, that is always called the constructor, right? So here batch means this class. So here I'm not defining any constructor, and then also I'm providing the arguments to it. So is it valid or not? Apply your thinking. Are you getting my question first? Because in derived class, there is no constructor. Okay, the answer is that whenever you are not defining any constructor in your derived class, it is automatically called the parent class constructor. Are you getting my point? That's why this is valid. This parameter which I given here as a constructor in the derived class, so here you are not defining any constructor. If you are defining constructor, then again another scenario. But if you are not defining it, that's why it called the parent class constructor, and this entire thing is evaluated. So is it clear what I want to convey, everybody? So it directly called the parent class constructor. Okay, what value is it print? Okay, so just first we interpret this first keyword. Okay, first sentence. So 30 is your size, red is your color, and AWT is your text value. So whenever this constructor comes here, so assign it, and then after it directly go to the print value function, and according to that, whatever the previous output is there, that is display. Now for the second thing, 40px means font size is increased, color is blue, and OOP, that is your text. Okay, so it goes here again, it print the values, this function is there, and again here all the things is display that way. Okay, so I'm just displaying the output of it so that you have a better idea. Okay, are you getting my point? First, AWT is your parent class object. OP is your base class object, but both are printing the same values, printing the same constructor values. They are calling the same constructor because in derived class there is no constructor. So both are just executing the parent class constructor. Okay. Now the question is there, here in parent, in child class also there is a function or there is a method is there, right? So how we can call it? So using TC1 class object we can call that function or not? Like, is it like this is valid or not? E underscore message, this is valid or not? Like using parent class concept or using the parent class object, can we call the child class method? Okay, no, never. So for better understanding, you can just remember these things. You have a access to the property of your father. Am I getting the sense? You have always access to the property like money and whatever the property your father have, you have access to that property. But whatever property you have, father didn't have access for that. Father never tell you just give me the money, give your house, give your property. Father will not tell you. But you always tell your father that just father just give me your money, give your property. So same thing, that is your father. TC1 is your father. So batch is your you as a you. Okay. So your father never tell you about your property. So your father never tell you or never call your property. Are you getting my point? What about Riddhi and Mojil? Mojil? Okay, so that's why using parent class object, you can call the parent class methods only. You cannot call it the child class methods or any other thing. But using child class object, you can access all the parent class methods as well as their own class method also. So that's why here they can access this print value automatically. Why? Because in the constructor we call this method. That's why we don't have to go for the explicit calling of it. But if we go for the explicit calling, then we can go for it. There is no issue. Okay. So just I'm writing down using obj1. Why I'm not creating the obj? That is my parent class object. And through parent class object, I cannot access child class method. That's why. E underscore message. So here they will print two times. Okay, fine. Okay, so can anybody tell me what is the output, like why there are two times OOP? Can anybody explain this output? Think about it. Here I'm again just showing your code. Anybody can tell me? Yes, because of p underscore message. That's why first, whenever you are calling that function using parent class object, this function is already there. So this function is called, again this function is called. So that's why it is printing two times. Are you getting my point? Everybody, is it clear about inheritance concept? Always keep in mind your parent class object will never call the child class object. Your child class object can call the parent class object as well as their own method also. Okay, just go for the program. Write it down from the scratch. Okay, this part you already covered, so you only write this part. Only this part is remaining. So just write it down and try to execute it. Riddhi, your XAMPP is also working well. So are you getting the output or not? Okay, good. As you done with the program, you can tell me. Done? Okay. What about other Komal and Mojil? Okay. What about Mojil? Okay, fine. Everything is there up to the whatever the code is there. Fine. And make sure whenever you are writing down the double inverted comma and your property, make sure you don't put a space. If you are putting the space, your output will not display. Like underline things is not there. So make sure you don't put any space regarding that. So you don't put the space, you can got the underline. Okay. So underline text is your child class function, this is your parent class function, again this is your parent class function. After that both the object is destroyed. So that is the destructor part. Okay, fine. Now just open the previous file. I just want to convey what thing here. Whenever the constructor is not there, they are directly automatically called the parent class constructor, right? But if here constructor is present, then how we can call the parent class constructor? That is the scenario. So that's why I open the previous file. We just demonstrate that in that part also. So just close this file and open the previous file. So all the constructor related things are there in one file. So why I first go for the inheritance and then again back to the constructor, because in here we have to use this inheritance concept. That's why I first tell you the inheritance concept and then we go for it. Okay. Now here, this is the all things you already covered in your previous file. Now here I'm creating another class that is same as a batch, and I'm extending it from the TC1 class. Okay. Now I just want to add my own property that is called the like public and dollar text decoration. That property, or just I just want to go for the decoration so that there is no ambiguity in that. Okay, so text decoration like underline, overline, text to blink, that kind of thing is all about the decoration, and that property I want to add here in this part. Okay, in this part, but I'm creating another function. Now what I do, I create a constructor of batch class, and there I have to provide 4 parameter. Why? Because 3 parameter I will access from this file, and the 4th parameter, that is my own parameter. So I have to just go for this 4 parameter, right? So first is my text size, another is my text color, another is my text value, and last is my decoration that I added here. Now I don't want to initialize every time. I don't want to initialize every time this 3 properties. So what I can do, I just call for this 3 initialization of this 3 property, I just call this parent class constructor so that initialization can be performed here, right? And here I'm not going for this method also, otherwise you fill or maybe ambiguity means you get confused in that. That's why here I'm not calling this function directly. I use the object to call it. Okay. So how I can just call it from this child class constructor to parent class constructor. So for that, use use parent keyword, then after double colon, then after either you can use the construct or you can use the TC1 as a class name, because when we study the constructor concept, we already discussed that either you can use the double underscore then construct, and or you can use this TC1 as your class name. So here I'm calling my parent class constructor. So they come to here. How many parameters are there? 3 parameters. So I have to pass only 3 parameters, and it should be matched with this. Like first is a size, then color, and then after value. So I just pass here also. First is my text size, then after my text color, then after my text value. Okay. So this is called from your child constructor, you are calling your parent constructor. Are you getting my point, everybody? How you can call your parent constructor in your child constructor? Because directly you cannot call it. That's why we have to go for it. Directly, you cannot call it your parent constructor. So using parent keyword, then after double colon, then after, sorry, double colon, then after your construct, either you can use double underscore construct keyword, or either you can use the TC1, that is your class name. That is up to you. There are two methods, so that is up to you which method you can use it. And then after, pass the parameter, and it should match with your parent class constructor. Like first is a text size, so okay, you are providing here. Second is text color, okay, you are providing here. Third is text value, okay, you are providing here. So that will call this parent class constructor and initialize all three things. But one thing, decoration is still remaining to initialize. So what we can do here, we can just go for it like decoration, and then after color decoration. Okay, now is it clear? As we discussed that you cannot directly call your parent class constructor. Okay, so that's why we are doing through the child class constructor. Okay, now I'm creating another method in this class, that is, I can say that a public function, then p underscore message. Okay, this function I'm just going for it, and I just write it down here. Okay, so what I can do, I just using these things like same as it is. You can copy this function, this line here, but I have to add one decoration property. So before the text value, I want to add that property also. So how can I add it? So using text dash decoration. Okay, then colon, again inverted comma is closed, again dot for concatenation, and then after these decoration and dot and inverted comma. Okay, so here I add one property according to the syntax, that if both two strings are there, then you have to go for the concatenation and you have to use the dot operator. If you are using any variable or property, you cannot put it into the double inverted comma. So that's why I have to end it here. Okay. And I'm calling these functions here from my child class constructor. So there is no explicitly calling of that function is required. Okay. So I'm calling it from this. Okay. Now here I'm creating the batch class constructor, batch class object, and where I'm providing the fourth parameter, that is underline. Why I'm providing fourth parameter? Because my batch class constructor contain four parameters. That's why I'm creating four parameters. Okay. So now I'm just going for the running the program. That is my constructor demo file. Okay, just a second. Okay, as you can see here, AWT underlined with red and destroying AWT, you can use it. So if I'm changing the blue, or if I'm writing down here OP, okay, so through this object, I can change everything. So is it understood? If the batch or batch class contain the constructor, directly your parent class constructor will never be called. So that's why we are using this particular sentence like parent, then colon, then after construct of your parent class. Are you getting my point, everybody? Yes or no? What about other students? Okay. Other students, if you face any query, you are joining late, maybe your pre-placement talk is there, is it? like Mohit Raj, Rajkumar. Okay, fine. So that is fine. But if you have any issue regarding any of these things, we already cover the constructor, how to construct, use the constructor or create a constructor, then destructor, and as well as the inheritance concept. If you want to repeat it, I just repeat it, but at least acknowledge me. You want to revise it? Can I repeat? So that everybody are on the same page. That's why I'm saying that. If you understand it, then it is fine. But if you want to repeat, then just acknowledge me. All the students. Can I move ahead or repeat? Okay, fine. So here in this program, we create a class. Then after we create a constructor for it. So for that, two ways is there. Either you can use the underscore underscore construct and function, or you can use the class name. So using that, you create a constructor. You initialize different properties there. You create a destructor whenever the reference is not there, and for cleanup process, you just go for the destructor. You create one method. In that method, I don't want to directly go for the echo part. I just put one p tag, and the styling of p tag I just wanted. So that's why I create this kind of sentence. So p style is equals to font size. So this is my string, that's why I ended with here. But this is my value, like font size colon 20 px. So 20 px is always a fetch from the user. So I cannot write it down here in double inverted comma. So I just use this. And for these two string, concatenation operator is used. So that's why I'm creating the dot operator. Okay, if you don't understand this sentence, you can tell me. Fine. Then after we create another subclass, or we can say the child class, which extend our parent class, that is my TC1. Here I add one more property. So when I create a constructor of this class, I just go for the first three property or first three parameter as the base class constructor, and one more parameter that is my own. So this way I create, or I call the parent class constructor. Here I'm calling the parent class constructor. Why I have to do this? Because directly I cannot call the parent class constructor. That's why. Okay, so these way I just call the parent class constructor. I add my own property also, because in child class, parent class property also you can use it, as well as your own property is there. Then after I call this function, so it directly go to here, and this way this entire thing is work. Okay. One concept is there in inheritance. So can anybody tell me, like some of the students are still new. So if I am creating the parent class object, if I am creating parent class object, then can I access the child class method? Can I access the child class method using your parent class object? Like here in here, just I'm give the demonstration of it. Like here I'm creating object one of parent class is my tc1. I'm providing the values to them, like 20 px, that is my font size, color is red, and then after awt. So why I'm giving only three parameter? Because my parent class constructor has only three parameters. That's why I'm giving three parameter, right? Then after using this obj1, can I call this p underscore message function? Is it valid? Can anybody tell me? Okay, Komal is saying no. What about other student? Okay. So the students who are joined recently, the concept is there. You can never access the function using your parent class object. Like this object is your parent class object, right? So how can you use this object to access the child class? Taking the example for very simplicity, as a children, you can access all the property of your father, but your father never access your property. Always keep in mind these things. So, like TC1 is your father, and P message is your as a you, as a child, like as a you. So, how your father can access your property? That is also in real time is not like never this thing is happen. Like your father is not going for uh, accessing your property. In very rare case this thing is happen. Are you getting my point? So that's why using the parent class object you can never call the never call the child class function or method. Are you getting my point? But if we create the object of child class, then can we call the parent class function or not? Using child class object, can you access parent class? Just relate it in the real time. Child as a you. Can you access the property of your father? Yes or no? Definitely yes, because you have all the access to use your property, use your father's property. So here batch is your child class as a you, and you can access your father property as well as your property. So for this object, like if I call this function, that is also valid, and if I call this function, that is also valid. Okay, so keep in mind these things. All the things is clear with you, the inheritance concept as well as how we can go for calling the parent class constructor. If you want this code, I can provide you. Just put me one mail for it. Okay, anybody, if you want this code or any previous codes also, I will provide this all the things. Okay, write it down. These things. These things is new to you, so go for it. And make sure in the next lab session, students log in through your laptop and you have to show me your output. Okay. As you done with everything, just tell me regarding that. Done. As you done with that, acknowledge me. We can move ahead for the interface part. We cover the constructor, destructor, as well as the inheritance part. So now we go for the interface part. So just first write it down these things and then after we move ahead. And try to just think about your application. We will demonstrate the small application which I created. So in the next lab session, I will demonstrate it and then after just start doing it. And it is don't it not required too much time. I will provide 1 week for it. Okay, Riddhi, Komal, Arsh, Mojil, and Mohit, tell me, have you done it? Okay, Riddhi done. Then what about other? Okay, Komal, Mojil, Mojil, have you done? Okay, Harsh, are you there? Okay, good. Fine. Okay, now create some new file and just save it as an interface. So first tell me why we create an interface. What is the advantage of it to creating the interface? We already learned the concept of inheritance, but why we create interface? Mojil, you want previous file? If you want it, just tell me. Okay, fine. Can anybody tell me what is interface? Okay, fine. So in the inheritance, there are different types of inheritance are there, right? Like one type is there multiple inheritance, but that is not supported. So that's why we are creating the interface. Now, what does it mean? Like we create one class A. Here I'm just only giving the example of it. Another class, like one class is their father, another class is their mother. Okay. Now we are extension of both. So I create another class and write down like child extends father as well as mother, right? But as you can see here, it is not valid. Like the name is also changed and it says that it is not valid. So this is all about the multiple inheritance where from two parent class one child class is there, from two parent class one child class is derived. Okay, so that is not supported in the PHP, so that's why we require the interface. Okay, using interface we can just use this kind of things, but here instead of extend we have to write implements. So whenever you want to go for interface, you have to just write it down the implements. Okay, now just go for it. How you can create interface? So interface is same like your class, but there is no code in your interface, only abstract methods are there. Okay, so there is a difference in the abstract class and in interface. In abstract class, all the methods are not abstract. You can put it out non-abstract class also or non-abstract method also. But in interface, all the methods are abstract. Now, whenever you heard this abstract keyword or abstract word, it means you only declare it there is a no code or no implementation part is there. Are you getting my point? Whenever you heard this abstract word, make sure if it is abstract class, then just we declare it. There is a no content in that. If we are saying the abstract method, it means we are just giving the name of that method and we are not going for any code. So make sure whenever you use or heard this word abstract, it means you just give the name of that method and overall declaration of it. You are not going for any implementation or any code is not there. Till now, is it clear what is the difference in interface and abstract class? Yes or no? Everybody? If you want to just repeat anything or if you have doubt, then you just tell me. Okay. Now how we can create a interface? So in interface, use this word keyword that is a interface. Then after here, I'm creating two interface. One is a employee, okay, and another interface is student. Okay, here I'm creating two interface. One is a employee, another is a student. Fine. So in interface, all the methods are abstract method. That means we are just declaring it. So here I'm just giving one function or we can say method and name of that is get details. That's it. So here there is no curly bracket and then after no code is there only the declaration part because this method is abstract. Are you getting my point? Okay, as well as in the second student part also, we are going for another method that is called get marks because students are always related to the marks. So here we create another method and just declare it. Okay, so this is all about interface declaration where we just use keyword as an interface, the name of interface, and in that particular interface, only the declaration of that method. No need to write curly bracket and then after code. That is not said that this method is abstract. Okay, abstract method is look like always this, only the declaration part. Okay, so it looks like class but the code is not there. Okay, you can define the variables also, but here I'm not defining variable, so it is up to you. Next is I'm creating the class and the class name is like person. I'm implement. Whenever you have to just access that interface, make sure you use this word implements. Just a second. Okay. And you want to implement both the interface, then write it down both using the comma. And then after the code of your class. So are you getting my point? Like class is created, like here class as a child, interface is a father and as well as mother, and you are using it. So it is same like multiple inheritance. So using interface, we are whatever the functionality of multiple inheritance are there, they are we are achieving here. You can implement more than one interface, that is up to you. That is not necessary only one interface you can implement it. You can implement more than one method or one interface also. And if you want to implement another interface also, so you can write it down this way also, extends and employ. So this way also it is allowed. Like if you want to go for the interface communication, at that time you just use extend. Don't go for the implement. Whenever in your class you want it, then and then you use the implement word. Okay. So if you want to extend another interface, use this extend keyword. Okay, fine. Now we go for the class. So make sure whenever you implement this two interface, so in this class, whatever the methods are defining in interface, one is a get details and another is get marks, right? So these two method code should be or must be available here. So whenever you are implementing your interface, so code of every abstract method should be, or we can say must be present in your class. Keep in mind these things. So implementation of get details as well as get marks will be there in here in this class. Okay. So we have to implement those methods also. So here I'm just declaring first different properties. One is public name, then after public age, then after public ID, and at last public marks. So marks, name and age for the students and name and age for the employee. Okay, so this way we can bifurcate it. Now I'm creating the construction. So students who are new, just you can pay attention here, like first create or use the keyword function. Then after double underscore, make sure you just go for double underscore and use the construct. Here I'm passing down the values, all the four value, but here I'm just only using the small like ID for I, name for N, then after age for A, and then after marks for M, so that I don't have to write everything. Here I am assigning everything like dollar this. You can, if you want to use this keyword, then it is fine. Otherwise, it is up to you. Okay, and make sure after arrow you don't put arrow or dollar sign. Okay, so this way I'm assigning this every property. Just a second. And last is these, then after marks. Okay, ID means only I. Okay, so this way I am just initializing all the property. Now what I want to check if the ID is 1, then it go to the directly get details function and it will display the employee details. And if ID is 2 or after 2, 3, whatever, apart from 1, it will directly go to the get marks method and it will show the details of the student. So here I am just creating one function that will check it out, like ID is 1, then go to the employee part, and if ID is 2 or any other apart from 1, then go to the student part. So here public, just make sure you just, it is good habit to give the access specifier. So it is for checking the ID. So here I'm providing the ID to that. Okay, and this way. So whenever constructor will call at that time, I will just call these functions. So I don't have to call it explicitly, and I'm passing this ID also. So is it clear till now what I just want to do? If ID is 1, then get the details of employee. If ID is apart from 1, then get the details of student. So till now, everything is clear from your side or not? First we create an interface, then we implement it in our class. We create four different property, we create a constructor, and in constructor also we just call the function. In this function we check it out, if ID is 1, then directly go to the get details part, and that method we have to implement here. And if it is not 1, then it go to the get marks, and that method also we have to implement here. Why? Because we are implementing interface. So whatever the abstract methods are there, we have to implement here. Is it clear till now, everybody? Yes or no? Are you getting my point? What about other students? Mohit, Meet, because these all concept you already learn in your lectures. So I'm just changing the example so that you get more practice on that. Okay, fine. So here, first I will check if, just a second, if ID, this arrow ID, double equals to, we can say 1, then which method is called? That is the employee interface. So that is the this get details method is called, because I want to get the employee ID. So employee details. So that is the get details method is there. Okay. And else part, I just go for the another method calling, that is the student, and that is get marks. Okay, here I'm just checking out the ID is 1, then go for the employee part. If ID is not 1, then go for the student part. Now both the method I have to implement here because I am using the interface. So that is the abstract method. Implementation is not there. So here I have to write it down the implementation. So public, first I'm going for get detail function. So function get details and just printing out the employee part. So echo employee name. Here I'm using BR so that it looks very nice. Employee name is, and then after concatenation means dot operator, this dot name. Again echo BR employee age is dot this age. Okay, so get details is implemented. Now another function is still remaining to implement, that is a get marks. That is an abstract method in the interface of student. So that's why we have to implement it. So public function get marks, writing down these things. Okay, and here just I'm copying this thing, so it don't take that much time. Okay, here I'm writing down the student name is there, student age, and again we need the marks also, right? So echo br student marks is like this marks. Okay, so we implement this two method that is declare as a abstract in interface. We create a constructor, directly it will check if ID is 1, then it directly moves to the get details, and if it is not 1, it directly go to the student part. Okay, so that is all about our class part. Now we go for the object creation. So make sure whenever you go for the object creation, make sure you have to pass 4 detail. Okay, one ID, then name, age, and at last the marks. Okay, so I'm just creating the object obj is equals to new. Here the class name is person. First is my ID. So I am providing 1. Then after name. So I'm providing Krishna. Then after age, so I'm providing like student age are 21, and sorry, employees, one means employee, right? So 25. And then after the last is your marks. So we have to give marks, but it will not evaluate it because it directly go to the get details part and it will only print the name and age. But as a constructor, we have to go for it. So that's why I'm putting here. Same as it is, I'm just giving another, I'm creating another object of same class. But here I'm putting ID is equals to 2, name is equals to like Krish, then after the age is equals to like 21, and at last the marks is like 100. Okay, so here I just want to demonstrate both things, like if ID is 1, then what kind of information they will display, and if it ID is not 1, then what kind of information they will display. That's why I create two objects. Okay, so just going into the part. Okay, one interface. Okay, as you can see, the first object will display these things, that is your employee part. How? So one is passed to here. So one, then after Krishna, then after age and marks is passed to here. It will check the ID. If it is one, it goes to the get detail. Yes, it is one. It goes to do get details. So that's why it only print these things. Okay, employee name and age. Now go for the second part here. ID is 2. So it is not matched with the if part. So it goes to the else part and it will print the get marks, that is the students related information. Are you getting the all interface program? Yes or no? Everybody getting the example? Like first we create interface, two interface. Then after in class we implement both the interface. Then create a constructor. Then check it out if ID is 1. Then go to this method. If ID is not 1, then go to this method. And we just print the things. Is it clear? Everybody? Yes or no? Okay. Okay, good. Now just go for the writing down the entire interface and just go for the output. Sorry, just a second. Sorry. Then make sure you run it at your home also. Just try out some other things also so that you get better idea. Okay, as you done with that, just acknowledge me. Yes, yes, Komal. I will just provide me your mail ID. Otherwise, you just put a reminder for it. I will definitely send you all the codes. Okay, so no worry for that. You just try out it at your home also. Okay, I will provide all the codes like previous two program code and this three files also. I will just provide to you. Is it any other doubts? Okay, just I'm stop presenting my screen and I just take the attendance. Is it feasible for you or anybody need this screen? Okay, okay, Komal, no problem. Can I stop presenting the screen? Okay, okay, fine. Just taking the attendance. Harsh, Harsh, are you there?
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am. Yes,
okay.
ma'am.
Meet, Mojil, Mojil. Okay, Mohit, Mohit is there. Riddhi and Komal.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So if you
Mojil,
have,
ma'am.
okay, fine, Mojil, I mark you present. If you have any doubts regarding any program, you can mail me. You can ask me regarding that. Okay, we conclude here the session. Thank you all. Have a nice day. You can leave the meeting.